What's up everyone, and welcome back to another video here at Red Dirt Reptiles. I'm Corey Samples, as most of you may know. Today, just going to talk about some more taming. Who I've got behind me is Keo, my probable male Melinus. Both my Melinus, I've noticed, are very temperamental. And out of all my monitors have been, quite honestly, the hardest to get to tame down. They're not very trusting, although I have seen some that are very trusting. And so I want to say again that every monitor is different. Of the two that I have, my probable female is very social, but this little guy right here behind me is not very social yet. And I work with him quite diligently, but we're still working on the trust building and bonding. So I thought today, and with Keo, would be a perfect opportunity to kind of explain a little more about what I mean as far as working with them in the water. This video will kind of play into the video that I put up yesterday about taming in the water. As you can see in the video, he's just swimming around trying to check out what's going on. I do not have my netting down into the water where he can get up to it quite at this moment because we are still working on building trust. He knows that he can come up on me to get out. He has yet to do so. He will come up on my hand like he is currently sitting. And then once I move up or move any closer, he jumps off. So, actually he's staying on me for quite a minute longer, but he's just gonna jump off. So that's what we're dealing with. Now, a lot of times most people get frustrated with the fact that this is all they're getting. But to me, these are tiny threads being built into a rope bond of trust. And so throughout the 20-30 minutes that I may have him on here or in here, because I don't want to do it too long. I don't want to stress him out even more than what he already is. What I'm looking for is for him to come up my arm and want out. Once he does that, I know we've started building onto the trust process, and then I can take it further. Now again, this is my own experience, my own techniques, and my own rules. Everybody does it differently. So say right now he's on my hand again. We're gonna try and bring him back up and see if he's willing to just hang out. And he's doing that. He's just chilling. This is me letting him know that I'm of no harm to him. None at all. You see he's not huffing, there's no puffing, but he's still a nervous guy. Still a nervous guy. We got a little tongue flicks going. So he didn't dive off on me like I expected him to. He's actually gonna come up and out. All right, well he made his way up there. So, might as well go ahead and drop this down into the water. He's gonna get as high as he can, as usual. And now that he's getting as high as he can, he's figured out how to get up that high. Now we are going to figure out how to interact with him while he's up high. Again, I don't want to force the issue.
Daddy.
Yes, princess.
Are you talking to Bunny Doe? I'm
talking on the video camera. Can you give me just a couple minutes? Okay?
Yeah, hey Daddy. Can I go to potty here?
Yes, baby. Go ahead and go potty. Okay, sorry about that. My little girl came in. So anyway, we're not going to force the issue. What I am going to do is go up high with him and interact with him. And I'm going to keep this all on video so y'all can see how I'm doing this and what I'm allowing myself to do. The limits that I'm allowing myself to push. I don't want to push too much, but I don't want to not push at all. I need to push a little bit so that I can gain his trust, but I don't want to push so much that I stress him out and break whatever progress we have already gone into. So let's come up here. He's over in my corner where all the other ones seem to like to go. We're just gonna step up here with him and see how he acts. Now he's probably gonna be my flighty one. He does not like to be handled too much. So we're gonna find out. There we go. See, we got a little bit of huffing, a little puffing. Now, he's not standing high puffed, so I can still interact with him. And he's coming closer, which is a good thing. He's not afraid to come closer.
Daddy, can you help me with my food, dude? Daddy, can you help me with my food, dude?
Yes. Let me step down here real quick, guys, and help my daughter out. I'll leave the camera right here where you can kind of see him for a second. Oh, sorry about that. Let's fix that up right.
But your hands are cold.
I'm sorry, baby, they're wet. Hold on, Keo.
Oh my God, how did he did that?
He jumped down. Now don't move because I don't want to freak him out. Okay, so what happened is we came down and he jumped right off into the floor. He didn't take off running, but as you can see, he's still quite the spectacle. Still very flighty. And what I've noticed with this species is that they are very flighty. You know, I've done quite a bit of research. They are more flighty, would rather poop on you and run than to bite you. So what I've been working on with him is not restricting, just letting him move. And then where I'm at right now, we'll set him back down in the water. Okay, and we start this process all over again. Again, I apologize for my little girl coming in here. She had to go potty. My 4-year-old even comes in here and interacts with these guys in the water. So what I'm looking at now is a very upset monitor where he was about to bite. So I dropped him off my hand. I don't want him to bite me. I don't want him to feel like he needs to bite me. But I am going to show you this. This is a very nervous animal. Very nervous animal. And so I do not want to push too much. He didn't try and bite me then, although he has before. He has tried biting me a couple times. If I show you the camera down here in the water and kind of move him, his mouth starts to open. He's a very nervous guy. So instead of bringing him up, and the higher I bring him up, the more his mouth opens, I'm going to keep him down in the water here. I don't want him to feel like he needs to bite me. Now, a lot of people will ask why I don't use gloves to avoid this. Well, truth being told is if I use gloves, and one of these days when they're a little older, I decide that I don't want to approach them with gloves, I could take a chance on getting bitten. And as a bigger monitor, the bigger they are, the worse the bite is. So my idea is to not use gloves when they're young. And if I take a bite or 2 or 3 or some tail whips while they're young, to me that's fine. I'd rather them draw a little blood now than be down the road and then really bite me and there be a major issue. So he's creeping up my arm right now with his mouth kind of open. He's still nervous. He's in a half perch where he's ready to jump off. Oh, and there he went right back in the water because I put my hand up here. I don't want him to feel like I am posing a threat to him. And I'm sure I've said this multiple times throughout the video. But the idea is to be slow. And so tiny threads. So far we've built an okay thread today. I haven't been bitten. There's still some huffiness because he's still a nervous guy. But I haven't been bitten. I do get some tongue flicks. And yesterday I mentioned in my video that tongue flicks is a major part of wanting to interact with your monitor. And so even though he is still nervous and quite defensive, I am getting tongue flicks. So I am seeing that he's thinking about what's going on. He understands what's going on. But anytime he gets on to me, he opens his mouth right now because he's nervous. So the idea is to just keep doing this day in, day out. Now that they've been here long enough and have a proper acclimation time, the idea is to continue to do this every day and continue to teach him that we're of no harm at all. And so see, right now I've got him on me. We've got no open mouth. He's starting to realize that I'm not going to hurt him. But that doesn't mean that he's not nervous. As a matter of fact, he's probably fixing to jump off my hand. There he goes, back into the water. And what we're going to do is we're going to put our hand back down in there again because he knows that quite frankly right now, this is his way out. And they want to get up high and get out. So again, back in the water and back on me. And now we do have a little bit of mouth opening this time. But I don't care. I don't care about the mouth opening. What I care about is building trust with this animal. So, I'm going to continue to put my arm in the water. And I'm fixing to take a bite. I'm guaranteed he's going to bite my arm. Because he's very nervous about what's going on. Very nervous. Oh, he just fell back in the water because he was acting so nervous with me. So, we'll get him to come back up and I'm going to show you what he's doing. We got wide mouth open here, and the closer I get, the more that's going to happen. I'm trying to get him to come a decent amount up my arm so you can see just how open mouth he is. The moment he gets on me, and he knows I'm looking at him, he's got an open mouth. And that's small in comparison, okay? He's just gonna keep jumping off into the water. And that's okay. That's okay, you guys, because even though you don't feel like this is doing anything, hey, yep, I took a bite. He bit me. Didn't hurt. He quite literally took a giant pinch on my arm. And all that's doing for him is letting him know, one, I'm not food, and two, once he bites me and I don't have a negative reaction, this is showing positivity in his eyes. So he may still be nervous, but notice there's no open mouth. He just wants to go explore now. And so guys, understand that the possibility of being bitten is very likely, especially with wild-caught animals. And unfortunately, the Melinus species have not been produced but by one person as a privateer. That would be Anthony Sains with Reptiles by Sains. Great guy, great guy. But since then, no more have been produced. So everything that you see, there we go. We got some mouth opening right there. Everything that you see as far as the Melinus species go right now, or what you could find, if you were to get on and purchase a Melinus right now, guarantee it's going to be wild caught. These guys have a completely different temperament than any of your CBBs. So it just takes a little more time, in my opinion. Now, some of these guys that you're going to find from a wild-caught standpoint aren't that bad. They can be great animals. As a matter of fact, the Asian water monitors that are caught wild actually aren't that bad at all. And from what I hear and have seen, can be tamed down quite nicely. However, these guys are naturally flighty. And see, now I've got my hand in front of him and we're good. See, now we're starting to gain some trust. See, now there's no more biting. But he realizes that he can get up out of here on me without having to worry about me being aggressive toward him. So again, I've just scooped him up on my hand. There we go. Hi, big guy. Aren't you going to go up my phone? Huh? So I'm actually going to let him halfway mini explore right at the moment. He is quite literally just up on the mantle right behind the phone. As you can see, his tail is dragging in my phone. I won't let him go any further than that. Right now, we've got lots of tongue flicking going on. He's curious about what his environment is, which is a good thing. Whenever, especially when you're seeing lots of tongue flicks, excellent thing. So I'm not going to pace him. I'm not going to go after him right at the present moment. I'm going to give him the ability in the small space that he's in to go check it out. This is part of trust building. If I can't let him explore some, when given the opportunity to come out, when I put him back in, it's looked at it by him as a negative activity because there was no positive action that came out of that. So what I'm doing now is I'm simply approaching him from two different angles where he can only go backwards. I know you can't really see this, so I'll bring this out right here and post you up where you can kind of see where he's at in the corner right there. You can't really see because of this, so I'll move this. This is giving him the ability to get on the mantle right behind my tub. And I'm going to place my hands right in front of him. And be slow. Again, I don't want to be fast. I don't want him to feel like he needs to run or dive off from where he's at and possibly hurt himself like that to get to where he wants to be. So we'll scoop him back up and see. I'm gonna take another bite, guarantee it, because he's super freaked out right now. No, we're not gonna take a bite. Yep, I'm gonna take a bite. Ow! 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 Let go! Ah. Yep, they pack a punch, guys. Again, just took a bite. I know you didn't catch it on video, but he bit this finger pretty well. Got me, well, there you can see some blood. Got me right here. Again, this is the type of stuff I'm talking about. You're probably going to, as a young adult or a young monitor, especially with wild caught, going to take a bite or two, maybe even three. I've been bitten twice today and once before by him. That one was probably the worst out of all the ones that I've taken. The one he bit me earlier, he caught a big, you can see a little bit of blood right here on my arm where he bit me earlier. But he just took a big chunk, but it didn't hurt. Now though, however, we'll just see how he does. Now though, however, he seems okay. He did hold on for like 3 or 4 seconds though, and it did sting. He's got a pretty good crunch on him. I can only imagine what a bite from one of these guys would be like full size. I can tell you that as a tiny guy, these guys have some sharp teeth and quite a powerful bite. So I'm gonna end this video. I've had him out for about 15 to 16 minutes now, maybe a little over that. I don't like to keep out when I'm building trust. I don't like to be out more than 20 minutes. That way I'm not stressing the animal out even more than what I should be. Oh, come here, big guy. Okay, so he dropped down out of the water into the floor. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna see if we can approach him. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna let him mosey around for a half a second and see what's going on, and then I will approach him. I wanted to kind of get an idea of being able to move around a little bit. So once I can get him up without being forceful, I don't want to be forceful, but once I can get him up, I will, and get him back into his enclosure. And see, as you can see right now, he's coming back towards me, so he knows I'm of no threat. Nervous, but knows I'm of no threat. So, again, this has been Corey with Red Dirt Reptiles. Hope to see y'all next time.